At my birthday party, my brother claimed I took mom's savings and my parents sent me away. 5 years of supporting him, $230,000 drained from my accounts. He never saw it coming. I'm Anna Reed, and for 5 years I've been the invisible glue holding my family together. While everyone praised my brother as the golden child, the one with big dreams and flashy success, I quietly paid his bills behind the scenes. Credit card minimums, car loans, personal debts that piled up from his consulting gigs that never panned out. Month after month, nearly $1,000 vanished from my paycheck into his facade of luxury. Mom and Dad always said family helps family, but it was always me sacrificing me, being the practical one they took for granted. I never complained. Not when he showed up late to holidays in designer clothes, or when relatives whispered about my boring job as a financial advisor. But that changed at my birthday party. The one I planned at our family's beach house in Miami, hoping for a simple celebration. Little did I know he'd turn it into a battlefield, flipping the script in a way that shattered everything. Accusations flew, truths twisted, and suddenly, I was the villain in my own story. If you've ever been the family's silent supporter only to get betrayed when you need them most, smash that like button and subscribe for more real tales of breaking free. By evening, I arrive at the beach house in Miami Coastal, ready for my birthday party. The sun is dipping low over the horizon as I park my car in the driveway of our family's beach house, the salty breeze carrying the distant crash of waves. I've rented the place for the night to make it special, transforming the open deck into a cozy gathering spot with folding tables covered in blue linen's lanterns hanging from the rafters and a playlist of light jazz humming from portable speakers. I unload the trays from my trunk, homemade appetizers like grilled pineapple skewers and crab-stuffed mushrooms that I spent hours preparing earlier that day. It's my way of adding a personal touch, even if no one notices the effort. I set up quickly, arranging the food on platters and chilling bottles of wine in ice buckets. The view of the ocean stretching out beyond the dunes feels calming, a brief escape from the usual family tensions. Guests begin arriving in waves, their cars pulling up one by one. Natasha, my best friend from the financial firm where we both work, shows up first carrying a wrapped gift and a bottle of champagne. She hugs me warmly and dives right in to help adjusting the seating and commenting on how the setup captures that relaxed Florida vibe. "You've outdone yourself, Anna. This looks amazing," she says, her enthusiasm genuine amid the growing chatter. Kayla, my cousin on mom's side, pulls in next, her laughter echoing as she steps onto the deck. She's always been the one to lighten moods, and she immediately compliments the appetizers, sneaking a taste before anyone else. "These are killer. You should start a catering side gig," she teases, pulling me into a side conversation about recent family gossip. A handful of other relatives and friends filter in, about 15 in total, mingling on the deck with drinks in hand, the group forming small clusters under the evening sky. The party hums along smoothly at first, with people sharing stories from work or recent trips. But the energy shifts when Brian finally appears 40 minutes late, striding through the side gate like he owns the place. He's dressed in a tailored polo and khakis, his new Rolex catching the light as he waves hello. "Sorry for the delay, folks. Traffic from the airport was brutal after my meeting," he calls out, not sounding apologetic at all. He launches into a tale about his latest project, some investment in emerging tech firms collaborating with luxury brands. "It's all about scaling up. I've got partners lined up, and the returns are looking phenomenal," he boasts, drawing nods from the crowd. Mom Patricia rushes over with a bright smile, her eyes lighting up as she inspects his watch. "That is stunning, dear. You deserve it after all your hard work." She turns to the group, adding how Brian's ambition inspires her, recounting a quick story about his recent breakthrough deal that supposedly netted big commissions. Dad Joseph chimes in from his spot by the grill, flipping burgers with a satisfied grin. "Listen to your brother Anna. He's got the drive to turn ideas into reality. You could learn a thing or two about taking those risks in your line of work." I nod politely, refilling glasses to keep my hands occupied, but the comment lands like a subtle dig at my steady role as a financial advisor, reliable, but apparently not flashy enough. Natasha notices my tension and pulls me toward the railing, whispering encouragement. Don't let it get to you. This party's about celebrating you, not his ego trips. Kayla joins us, clinking her drink against mine. Yeah, screw the comparisons. You've built a solid life on your own terms that's worth toasting. Despite their support, the bias weaves through every interaction like an undercurrent. As the group settles into conversations, topics veer toward Brian's world. An uncle asks about my latest client projects, but Brian interrupts with details on his innovative strategies, pulling the focus back. A friend mentions my promotion last month, only for Mom to pivot to Brian's upcoming ventures that promise even bigger wins. Even casual talks about hobbies turn uneven one relative praises Brian's golf outings at exclusive clubs, while my weekend hikes get dismissed as simple fun. Dad shares a proud memory of Brian's college achievements, conveniently overlooking my own scholarships. Wendy, my aunt, joins a circle and gushes over Brian's charisma, suggesting he hosts the next family event because he's so good at making things exciting. These moments accumulate, each one highlighting the imbalance, laughs coming easier for his jokes, questions directed his way. First, compliments flowing freely while mine feel obligatory. I circulate the deck offering refills and small talk, but the favoritism gnaws at me, a familiar pattern that makes the celebration feel less like mine. The servers bring out the grilled fish and salads, placing them on the table. Everyone settles into their seats around the long deck table, the ocean breeze carrying the scent of citrus marinade. Plates pass hand to hand, conversations dipping into lighter topics like weekend plans or favorite Miami spots. I take a seat between Natasha and Kayla, trying to savor the moment despite the earlier undercurrents. Brian sits across from me, still holding court with a few relatives about market trends. As forks clink against plates, Brian clears his throat dramatically and stands up, glass in hand. Hold on, everyone, I almost forgot. It's time for a special birthday toast to Anna. Smiles turn his way, expecting something warm. Instead, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a folded paper, unfolding it with a flourish. But first, a little gift of truth. Anna, I've been holding on to this for a while now. The table quiets. Curiosity piqued. He holds up the sheet, a printed bank statement, lines highlighted in yellow. This shows withdrawals totaling $230,000 from Mom's savings account over the last 5 years. And guess who's been accessing it? Our dear sister here, dipping in for her own needs while pretending to be the responsible one. Gasps ripple through the group. I freeze, fork midway to my mouth, staring at the paper. It's a doctored K dates, and amounts manipulated to point fingers at me. Entries that never happened under my name. That's not true. I manage, voice steady but heart pounding. I've never touched Mom's money. Brian shakes his head, feigning disappointment. Come on, Anna, the evidence is right here. Transfers linked to your email, timestamps matching your work hours. You've been begging me for handouts behind the scenes, but this stealing from Mom, that's low even for you. The words hit like a wave, crashing over the deck. Whispers erupt, relatives exchanging shocked glances, a friend murmuring disbelief. Patricia's face drains of color before hardening. She pushes back her chair and stands abruptly. Is this real, Anna? How could you? That's our retirement fund, everything we've saved. Joseph rises too, his expression thunderous. We've trusted you with family matters, but this betrayal, unforgivable. Get out, leave now. We can't have a thief at this table. The declaration echoes, chairs scraping as others shift uncomfortably. Natasha grabs my arm, whispering urgently, "This is insane, fight back." But the damage is done. Eyes bore into me like spotlights. Kayla looks torn, mouthing "what" across the table. I stand slowly, legs numb, the weight of their stares pressing down. You believe him? After everything? No one defends me. Not mom, not dad, not even the relatives who've seen my quiet reliability. The silence screams louder than words. I grab my bag, weaving through the group amid hushed murmurs. Did she really? Poor Patricia. And head for the gate, the party crumbling behind me. Back at my apartment, the door clicks shut, sealing out the chaos. My hands tremble as I sink onto the couch. But clarity cuts through the fog. I open my laptop on the coffee table, pulling up my banking app. Rows of transactions appear, 5 years of payments to Brian's account's credit card bills averaging $400 monthly, car insurance at $250, personal loan repayments hitting $300. Total $230,000 meticulously logged like the auditor I am. Each entry revives memories of his pleas. Just this once, sis, until the commission hits. Promises never kept. The sum glares back, a testament to my misplaced loyalty. Without hesitation, I select the recurring transfers one by one. Auto insurance canceled, credit minimums, stopped, loan payments halted. Confirmation pops up each time. Recurring payment discontinued. 5 in total, severing the financial lifeline. I splash water on my face in the bathroom, staring at my reflection, the shock fading into resolve. For the first time, I'm choosing myself over the family's illusions. The next morning, my phone starts buzzing relentlessly. Sunlight filters through the blinds of my apartment as I sit at the kitchen counter with coffee in hand, the events from last night still replaying in my mind. Notifications pile up one after another, over 50 messages from Brian in less than an hour, each more frantic than the last. What happened to the payment? It failed. Call me now. Another. Credit card declined at the gas station. Did you switch banks? Then, auto insurance bounced. Fix this ASAP. His texts escalate from confusion to panic, punctuation multiplying with urgency. Loan repayment rejected. What's going on? Insufficient funds. I scroll through them silently, the screen lighting up my face each alert, a confirmation that the cuts have hit home. Before I can process it all, the phone rings, mom's name flashing. I answer on the fourth ring, bracing myself. Patricia's voice comes through, shaky, laced with tears. Anna, what have you done? Brian says you're refusing to cover his expenses anymore. She sniffles, her tone shifting to defense. He's going through a rough patch with his business, you know that. How could you cut him off like this? After all we've taught you about family sticking together. I lean against the counter, keeping my response measured. Mom, he's been living off my money for years. I stopped because of what he said last night. She dismisses it with a sob. That was just stress talking, he didn't mean it that way. You're being so ungrateful, Anna. We've given you everything, and now you're turning your back on your own brother. Her words sting, but I hold firm, ending the call as her pleas turn to accusations of selfishness. A knock at the door pulls me back. Natasha stands there with takeout coffee and a concerned look. She steps inside, setting the cups down. I couldn't sleep after last night. Let's figure this out. We sit at my dining table and I show her the bank alerts on my phone. Together, we log into Mom's shared family account app, one she gave me access to years ago for emergencies. Scrolling through, transactions patterns emerge: unauthorized withdrawals over months, small at first, then larger, totaling $230,000. Look here, Natasha points out. These match Brian's spending spikes, transfers to his linked cards timed with his business trips. He must have used her login to siphon it quietly. The realization hits hard. Brian not just relying on me, but actively draining Mom's savings to fuel his illusions. We cross-reference dates with my own records, confirming the overlaps. Natasha suggests documenting everything for proof, her support steadying me amid the betrayal's depth. My phone pings again, this time from the family group chat. Kayla's message pops up. Anna, I saw what happened. That accusation was way out of line. We're behind you. Let's talk facts, not drama. A few likes follow from distant relatives, the thread sparking tentative questions about the evidence Brian presented. It feels like cracks forming in the family's united front. But not everyone agrees. The phone rings once more, Wendy's name on screen. Her voice booms through sharp and accusatory. Anna, you're destroying this family with your pettiness. Brian's devastated, and now Patricia's in tears. How dare you pull this stunt over some misunderstanding? You're the one causing all the chaos. Fix it before it's too late. I end the call abruptly, her words echoing but not swaying me. The morning stretches on with more alerts. Brian's texts now bordering on rage. Bank called about overdraft, handle it. While support from Kayla grows in the chat, countering doubts with calls for clarity. Natasha stays helping me organize screenshots of the app discoveries, turning shock into strategy. 3 days later, Brian barges into my office lobby. I'm at my desk in the financial firm reviewing client portfolios when shouts echo from the reception area. Colleagues glance up as Brian storms through the glass doors, his face flushed and tie askew. Anna, where are you? Get out here now, he yells, drawing stairs from the open plan space. He spots me and charges forward, slamming a fist on the nearest desk. You owe Mom that money. Pay it back, or I'll make sure everyone knows what a fraud you are. Heads turn, whispers spreading like wildfire. My heart races, but I stand calmly, signaling the receptionist. Brian, this isn't the place. Leave before security gets involved. He ignores me, raising his voice louder. You've been stealing from her savings, admit it. Fix the payments you cut off. A coworker dials internal security and 2 guards arrive, swiftly positioning themselves between us. Sir, you need to exit the premises. One says, firmly guiding him toward the door. Brian resists, briefly shouting over his shoulder, This isn't over. You'll regret this. They escort him out the lobby, falling silent as I return to my office, adrenaline surging but resolve intact. That evening, a pounding at my apartment door startles me from dinner prep. Through the peephole, Brian stands there, disheveled and alone. I open it cautiously, blocking the entry with my body. He pushes past anyway, pacing the living room. Anna, please, I'm falling apart. The cards are maxed, bills piling up. Help me one last time. His tone shifts from demand to desperation, eyes pleading. I cross my arms, unmoved. Why should I? After what you did at the party. He slumps onto the couch, rubbing his temples. Okay, fine. I took Mom's money. Used it for crypto investments that tanked. Thought I'd double it, quick, pay everything back. But the market crashed, and now it's gone. He admits forging her signature on transfer forms, accessing the app during family visits. It was supposed to be temporary until my deals paid off. You didn't help enough. If you'd covered more, I wouldn't have needed to. The confession boils my blood, blaming me for his theft. That's on you, Brian, not me. He begs again, promising repayment plans, but I shake my head. No more. Get out. He leaves, defeated, the door closing with finality. 1 week after the family convenes for an emergency meeting at Mom's house. The living room feels tense, chairs arranged in a circle like an intervention. Patricia and Joseph sit rigidly, Wendy nearby with folded arms. Tricia arrives, last folder in hand, her expression steely. Brian slouches in a corner, avoiding eyes. Melinda, our grandmother, dials in via video, her face stern on the screen. Tricia takes charge, opening the folder. We've all heard the accusations, but here's the reality. She distributes copies of bank records highlighting forged signatures on withdrawal slips. Brian faked Patricia's approval for those transfers, dozens over years, draining the account. Gasps fill the room. Joseph scans the pages, brow furrowing. This can't be right. Melinda speaks up from the call. I checked my own statements, too, similar patterns. He withdrew from my linked savings without permission, small amounts at first to avoid notice. Patricia covers her mouth, tears welling. Brian, why? That was our nest egg. He mutters excuses about bad investments, but Tricia cuts in with more evidence, timestamps matching his logins, emails confirming crypto buys. The revelations shatter illusions. Relatives murmur in disbelief. Tricia announces her decision. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. Can't stay with someone who lies like this, Brian pleads, but she stands firm. Calls to the bank follow, confirming investigations into unauthorized access leading to formal charges. His luxury SUV gets repossessed that afternoon, towed away as neighbors watch. The meeting ends in chaos, family bonds fraying under the weight of truth. 5 years pass. I'm now in Boston. The city skyline gleams through the windows of my new townhouse, a 3-bedroom brownstone I purchased last year, after climbing the ranks at a top investment firm. Life has transformed since that fateful birthday. Promotions came steadily, my client base expanded, and I even started a side consulting gig, advising on personal finance recovery. The extra income once funneled to Brian now builds my future retirement funds, growing at 12% annually, travel to Europe twice a year, and community volunteering that fills weekends with purpose. No more skimping on myself. The freedom tastes sweeter than I imagined. A sharp knock interrupts my afternoon reading on the couch. Peering through the peephole, I see Patricia, Joseph, and Brian huddled on the stoop, looking worn under the autumn chill. Mom's hair is grayer. Dad's posture slumped, Brian thinner with shadows under his eyes. I open the door halfway, keeping the chain latched. "What are you doing here?" Patricia steps forward, voice quivering. "Anna, we need to talk. Can we come in? It's important." I hesitate but unlatch, gesturing to the living room. They file in, awkwardly glancing at the polished hardwood floors and modern art on the walls, signs of a life they've missed. Brian speaks first, fidgeting with his sleeve. "Sis, things have gone bad. Really bad. The bank's lawsuit escalated. I'm facing court next month for fraud charges." He explains how the investigations uncovered more debts leading to asset seizures. Dad chimes in, his tone heavy. "We co-signed some loans to help him out. Now the house is foreclosed. We're renting a tiny apartment, but even that's slipping away." Mom clutches her purse, eyes pleading. "We need $50,000 for lawyer fees and first month's rent on something stable. You're doing so well now. Please, for family." Brian nods vigorously. "It'll be the last time, I swear. After the trial, I'll get a real job, pay you back bit by bit." Their words hang in the air, a echo of old patterns. I stand by the fireplace, arms crossed. "No, I've given enough, more than you know." Patricia's face crumples. "But we're blood. Doesn't that mean anything? We raised you better than this coldness." Joseph tries reasoning. "Think about your mother, she's heartbroken." "One more chance, Anna." Brian adds desperately, "Without help, I'll end up in jail and they'll be homeless. You can't let that happen." I meet their gazes steadily, the years of resentment surfacing. "You believed his lies, disowned me at my own party. Now when consequences catch up, you come begging, no more safety net from me." Patricia sobs openly. "You're heartless, turning away from us in our darkest hour." The accusation doesn't faze me. "Get out, don't contact me again." Brian protests, but I heard them toward the door, shutting it firmly behind them. The lock clicks, severing the last thread. In the quiet that follows, I pour a glass of wine and step onto the balcony overlooking bustling streets below. No regret stirs, just a profound sense of liberation, like shedding a heavy coat after a long winter. The article I was reading earlier about setting boundaries in toxic relationships resonates deeper now. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes cutting out the poison is the only way to truly live for yourself.